Hi, this is Jeff Blauette, technical agronomist with Cooperative Farmers Elevator. And on this week's Field Friday segment, we're going to wrap the season up. This will be our last episode for 2022. But I told you I'd talk about it again, and I'm going to talk about it one last time. The stock standability in corn that we have coming. You know, we're kind of wrapping up on bean harvest here, and we're starting to look into if we should take corn yet or not. I would like to, show you some examples of some fields that can stand out, or some stalks that'll allow that corn to stand in the field and dry if you like, and some that maybe shouldn't. I've got a couple of examples here. I took some pictures of some different stalks. Here's a picture of some really healthy, juicy stalks yet. Those are the type that you can see are going to stand there for a while. You can see they've got a little green in them yet. You can also see some reddish or some purple. And basically what that is the green is kind of behind the leaf sheath. As I've pulled those leaf sheaths away, you can kind of see where they didn't cover. Those stalks are kind of getting that reddish look to them, reddish purple. That's actually showing you there's a lot of sugars left in those stalks, and those stalks, as they starting to get to the point where they're done flowing sugars up and down the stalk, you get those sugars getting bleached by the sun. If the sun hits that stalk, same reason why our leaves turn colors in the fall. Once those sugars are done flowing, they'll get bleached by the sun. So you can kind of see there's some healthy stalks here. And then I've got a picture of some, stalks that have starting to show some anthracnose at the nodes. Anthracnose a lot of times will come in as these plants weaken in the fall, especially if they've been stressed, which we've had plenty of in some of our territory. Most of our territory have had some stress during the year, and that might be the way that stalk ends up in the fall. You can see here, as I split those stalks, you can see there's a hollowed out appearance on the ones that have anthracnose. Those are the kind that are kinking over if we get some wind. You can kind of see there's an ear, there's a decent ear obviously. Next to the stalk that I split out of this healthy looking plants, nice ear there as well, but one's going to stand in the field a lot longer than the other. You can just see by the quality of those stalks and how those nodes are starting to rot away. So I just want you to be cautious letting stuff stand in the field. I know it's going to cost a little bit more money to dry corn down this fall, but it's also going to be, a valuable crop out there. So that'll kind of offset that. Basically what I like to do is go along in a field if it's not obvious. Some of them it's obvious where all the stalks are really weak and the tops are going over and everything looks like it's got to come out. You'll know that, but if you get out and walk in your field, you'll see there are some that are going to be borderline. So I got a picture here as I walk along and just push the stalks over at arm's length. Some of them are kinking over and will not, withstand that kind of a push, kind of called the push test. And you can see those, we get a strong wind like we always seem to get for a couple days in the fall. Those are the ones that are going to be busted over, and we may or may not have a very good time harvesting those if they all blow over. So this stand is, got a few that push over, not all of them. But go out into your fields. I think you're going to want to take a look before you decide not to harvest. If you're out trying to figure out which fields to harvest first, this is another way to do it. The other thing I'll say this year is I think we've got more, or a little bit less moisture, I should say, in this corn. Usually at black layers at 30 to 35%, but we've looked at quite a few fields where it's black layering and it's less than 28% already. Some are down in that 25 range, so there's a lot drier corn maybe out in the fields than you'd normally expect based on the season we've had. Obviously it's going to vary from area to area, soil type to soil type, but all I'm going to say is I'd just caution you to go out and look in your fields before you decide not to harvest for a while, and just make sure that there's not a budding problem out there. But I guess that's something we talk about every year, but it's really going to be important in a year where we have stress like this year. So we talked about a lot of things this spring, this summer, and early this fall. We've got a lot of test plots that we do, a lot of agronomic research beyond just hybrid and soybean variety testing. We put a lot of our test plot results on the internet on our website. Our agronomic trials, a lot of times it's more than just the numbers. There's some explanation needs to happen. So we kind of want to visit with those individually, those results with you, to see if there's some of the things that we're testing will work on your farms. We have a lot of different things we're playing with, from biologicals to fertilizer trials to planting date to just a lot of different things. So we have some things that might be of interest to you that we think will be a profitable addition to your agronomic system. We talked about planting herbicides this year. I think it's very important that we have a herbicide plan going into next year. Supply and demand, anybody that's tried to get parts, anybody that's tried to buy things, not everything is available at our beck and call. You know that from consumer goods. We know that from the crop protection markets. The sooner we know we're going to need to hunt for some more gallons or pounds of various products, the better off we're going to be, as opposed to finding out we have way more need than we have product and our shed's empty and we're trying to find some, in a hurry. So have a plan, do the right things, get a discussion going on a field by field basis, evaluate your fields that are going to have more weed pressure, and let your CFE agronomist help you through that situation. But I guess that kind of wraps it up for this season. Hopefully we've had some valuable sessions for you, try to keep them short and to the point, but just wanted to try and offer you some more advice for the season as it goes. So with that, that's this season, 2022, and we'll see you next year.